As Americans wait for a COVID vaccine, they're faced with some new questions they probably never thought they were going to face. Like, will you have to get it to return to work? Can you be forced? And more importantly, can employers fire you for refusing? The answer is probably not just a simple yes or no. I'm joined now by Dr. Dean Fanelli for some insight. He's a pharmaceutical expert with more than 20 years experience in both the biotech and pharmaceutical industries. And more than that, he's a law partner at the Seyfarth Shaw practice in D.C. specializing in employment law. Dr. Fanelli, thank you for being here. So just right off the top, can you be forced to get this vaccine to return to work?
So generally, the answer is yes. Employers can require that their employees receive the vaccination. There are, of course, some exceptions. If someone has a medical disability that would prevent them from getting the vaccine, certainly under the Americans with Disabilities Act, they could be exempt under that. Also, if, for example, someone had a legitimate religious belief under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, they could be exempt as well from the requirements of getting a vaccine.
If I need some sort of accommodation under the ADA, do I have to go see a doctor? Do I have to see a specialist? How does that happen?
Yeah, so first you would talk to your employer, and of course, it'd have to be a legitimate medical exemption. As we saw, for example, recently in two healthcare workers in the UK that received the vaccine had anaphylactoid-like reactions to it. Certainly, if you're an individual that's an employee that has a known high reactivity to allergies or overreactive immune response, then under the ADA, you would likely be exempt from being required to get the vaccination.
Does it have to be a recognized religious belief if I'm in one that, I can't get a blood transfusion, I don't do certain things? I have to have documentation?
It really depends, and when we say religion, we're not talking about a major religion. It could be the type of thing where you're a vegan and some of the ingredients in the vaccine may go against what your beliefs.
Vegans can say, I don't like that it has egg in it, and so I don't have to get it?
It could be, yeah. So it's not strictly that's exactly right.
Okay. It seems like there are going to be so many holes in this that almost everyone can find something. No?
Of course, healthcare workers, people in hospitals, people in nursing homes, we can easily see why there would be a requirement for those employees to get vaccinated. They're in direct contact with patients. In the other grayer areas is where, hopefully, at least in the short term, employers will be a little bit lax and maybe just make recommendations to the employees. But I suspect, we all want to get back to normal. As people start seeing their friends and other employees get vaccinated, hopefully, as you mentioned, the number of people that are just saying they don't want to get it because they don't want to get it, maybe they're anti-vaxxers or whatever, that number would go down.
Okay, so they might not put me on the schedule anymore if I don't get it at first. Can you be fired?
If you're someone that your job is to directly interact with patients and not getting the vaccination could pose a direct threat to those patients, certainly your employer could fire you.
Dr. Dean Fanelli, thank you so much for bringing us these answers. I think millions of people are asking them right now.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.